A shopping homepage that appears silent may still be keeping your browser's audio system busy enough to confuse Bluetooth headphones. Welcome to the Automated Daily Hacker News Edition, the podcast created by generative AI. It is August 21st, 2026, and I'm Trend Teller. Today, hidden browser behavior on a major retail site, a serious Rust supply chain scare, GitHub's postmortem on a long outage, and a Linux release packed with practical improvements. This episode is brought to you by Prezi. Prezi helps you create stunning AI-powered presentations in minutes. Find the link in the episode notes. We'll start on the web with a surprising report about AliExpress. The claim is that simply opening the homepage in Firefox or Chrome can keep two hidden web audio contexts running, even though no media appears to be playing. The practical symptom was odd, but real. Bluetooth multipoint headphones stopped handing audio back to a phone the way users expect. The larger point is more important than the headphone glitch. It suggests that anti-abuse or fingerprinting code can reach beyond tracking and into visible device behavior. According to the write-up, blocking two script families stopped the issue. It is a reminder that modern browser security and telemetry scripts can have side effects users never agreed to and can barely inspect. Staying with the browser, another widely shared piece looked at how much HTML can now do on its own. A lot of interface work that once demanded JavaScript can now be handled with native features like dialogs, popovers, accordions, lazy loaded images, and richer form controls. That matters because the best kind of code is often the code you do not need to ship. Simpler pages can mean less maintenance, fewer bugs, and better performance. The caution, though, is that native does not automatically mean perfect. Browser support is still uneven in places, and accessibility still depends on careful use. So the takeaway is not that JavaScript is going away, but that the browser has grown into a much more capable UI platform. Next, GitHub has published more detail on its August 17 outage, which lasted nearly 8 hours and hit core services including authentication, actions, APIs, pull requests, issues, and Copilot. GitHub says the trigger was a traffic peak that exposed a scaling failure in critical infrastructure in its central US data center. In other words, this was not a bad code push, but a capacity problem that cascaded. That distinction matters because it points to a harder class of reliability work, building systems that can absorb demand spikes and isolate failures before they spread. GitHub says it is adding capacity, reducing shared dependencies, and accelerating work tied to its Azure migration. For developers, it is another reminder that even mature platforms are still vulnerable at the infrastructure layer. On the security front, there is an important Rust ecosystem alert. SafeDep reported that a compromised release of the widely used crate_arrayref pulled in a typo-squatted dependency whose build script executed a payload during compilation. The key concern here is timing. The malicious behavior happened at build time, so developers could be exposed simply by compiling a project that resolved to the bad version. That makes this more than a package quality problem. It is a software supply chain issue with reach into normal development workflows. The affected releases were yanked, but the story also raised concern about how dependency resolution can still lead teams into risky paths. For anyone working in Rust, this is a strong case for tighter dependency review, better build isolation, and more scrutiny of transitive packages that look too small to matter. In open source platform news, Linux 7.2 has landed, and it is being described as one of the busiest kernel cycles in quite a while. The headline is broad progress across scheduling, memory management, graphics, and stability. For everyday users, that translates into the things that matter most: smoother performance, fewer edge case failures, and better power behavior on real hardware. The graphics side seems especially notable, with more work on GPU scheduling, improved handling for Raspberry Pi systems, and continued movement toward newer display capabilities. Not every planned change made the default cut this time, which is often a good sign of discipline rather than delay. Kernel releases matter because they quietly shape the experience of everything above them, from laptops to servers to embedded devices. And to close, two thoughtful essays caught attention for a different reason. One argued that the best art and writing have thickness. They reward a second look, contain hidden structure, and feel like they come from a real world of choices rather than from a template. The other made a similar point about biology education, saying the subject becomes interesting when taught as a set of mysteries and experiments, not a stack of vocabulary words. Put together, they land on the same idea. Whether you are building software, explaining science, or making something creative, depth matters. People can tell when a work has genuine structure behind it, and they can also tell when it is just surface. Thanks to our sponsor, Consensus. Consensus uses AI to help you find and understand research papers, and you can get a free month. Find the link in the episode notes. If one theme connected these stories, it's that the hidden layers matter most, in browsers, in infrastructure, in dependencies, and even in how we explain ideas. Thanks for listening. Links to all the stories are in the episode notes.